Penguin Random House Audio presents I Am Worthy. Break the spell of unworthiness, reclaim your divinity, and unearth your true power. This is the author, Christine Gutierrez. To my perfect daughter, Mar de Luz, you are worthy of it all, for you were born worthy. Invocation. Before you dive into the book, let's pause for an activating meditation to help you remember and reconnect with the worthy woman within. Repeat after me. I open the portal to remembering my worth, the deep down in my cells worth, the holy inherent divine worth. I reclaim the knowing that I know deep, deep in my bones that I am the living altar, that I am the prayer answered. I reclaim the knowing that I know deep, deep in my bones that I am part of the most sacred tapestry of all, that of the great divine mother, who wove the fibers of me, which are indelibly woven from the same stuff as my ancestors, the stars and earth. I am part of the great she, la diosa. I remember and reclaim my worth. I reject all parts and memories and stories that say anything contrary to this. I am worthy, and so it is. Introduction. You are allowed to have everything you want. Brianna Wiest. What if I told you that you are loved and worthy simply because you exist? What if I told you that in reclaiming your worth, you could transform every area of your life? If you are listening to this book, it is because you feel a deep knowing that there is more and that reclaiming your worthiness holds the key. This book is a portal into the unshakable remembering of your divinity, inextricable from your feminine body and spirit. Here, you will bring together all the scattered parts of your being. You will reattune to your inner compass so that you can unearth the buried treasure that lives within you, waiting for your rediscovery. You will learn to listen to the voice of La Diosa, the goddess, the worthy one who lives within you. In the history of your suffering and triumph, you will find the key that opens the door that is yours to unlock. You will weave together the threads of your own tapestry, which will be the map that leads you home. Working with women for nearly 2 decades as a therapist and spiritual mentor, I have witnessed time and again a core theme, infused throughout different life phases and circumstances, under many names, intertwined into a variety of stories. I don't believe I'm worthy. Not worthy of love, of success, of happiness, of abundance, of spiritual connection, of tenderness, of the good things in life. The specifics vary, but when it comes down to it, there is a gnawing sense of unworthiness that plagues women today. Often, at first glance, the women I interact with have rich, full, beautiful lives, so the message of unworthiness is more subtle. They may feel unworthy of remaining in the mystery of not knowing, unworthy of rest, unworthy of the medicine of their own tears, unworthy of asking for and receiving help, unworthy of breaking down and letting the I've got this facade crumble apart, unworthy of meeting whatever life brings with it, even if it's struggle, with eagerness and a fighting spirit. Some don't identify with feeling unworthy, but they share stories about their inability to set boundaries with their boss, their frustration about not being able to find a partner who honors them, their exasperation about not having it all figured out. These are stories laced with shame, with pressure, with self-attack, and self-judgment, all of which dilute these women's fundamental gifts. Many of these women have dedicated their lives to making sure others are taken care of, to nurturing the flame of worthiness in the people they love. These women range from CEOs to yoga teachers to stay-at-home moms. In every single one of them, I have seen the primordial spark of true brilliance. Sometimes it shines through bright and clear, and other times it is muted by the belief that they just don't get to have what they want in this lifetime. Very seldom will these women just come out and say they don't feel worthy. Sometimes their language is fancy and complex, and I have to be like a spiritual archaeologist who goes excavating beneath layers of ancient stories so I can arrive at that core feeling of unworthiness. Some have gotten so good at masking unworthiness that it can sound like overachievement, confidence, put-togetherness, accolades, and even pride. And yet when you listen to the silence between the words, it speaks volumes. After all the years of emotional and spiritual work, these women are still seeking validation and deliverance from the world around them, not realizing that the antidote can be found only within. What I want for you and for women everywhere is freedom from the spell of unworthiness. I am deliberately choosing to use the word spell. I believe that in many ways we are under the spell of unworthiness. And in order to break that spell, we must acknowledge there is one. Unfortunately, many women today are under the spell of patriarchy, which is partially responsible for the situation we find ourselves in. To that end, in this book, we're going to visit some deep and heavy topics. These problems were and are worse for poor women and women of color who have so often been treated as less than human and not deserving of the dignity of white women. We have a lot of deep unlearning to do, yo. Our sense of unworthiness is not our fault, something I will repeat throughout this book. We live under systems of oppression that include racism, patriarchy, homophobia, and persistent inequality that has come from centuries of capitalism and colonialism. Some of us are born with the message that we are inherently less worthy than others because of our sex, nationality, economic status, educational status, the color of our skin, and so on. Systemic unworthiness is at play here, and throughout this book, we'll peel back the layers to arrive at a deeper understanding of why women feel unworthy in the first place. I'm here to help you reclaim your power from all the spaces and places that have taken it from you. The journey to worthy. If you're new to my work, I'm a clinically trained licensed therapist who fuses ancient wisdom and practices with modern indigenous forms of therapy. As a Latina woman, NYC-born with Puerto Rican roots, I pull from this well of wisdom and from the medicine that I learned from my abuelita, which was all about recalling our dreams, depending on the power of prayer, lighting candles for those who needed support, and recognizing that faith moves mountains. In addition to the beautiful teachers I have learned from in the fields of depth psychology, shamanism, tantra, and mindfulness training, I've done a great deal of internal work and have also learned from the reflections I have received from countless clients. Throughout all this, I have come to consider myself more of a mystic, a healer, a mother, a gatherer, a poet, a holder of space, a priestess, a student, a spiritual mentor, and a guide. For years, people have asked me, what is the core of the work you do? My response has always been the same. At the root of it all, I'm here to remind people of their worth, particularly women, and even more specifically, Latinx women and women of color. The word worth always jumped out at me as if it were alive, demanding that I weave it into as many hearts and souls as I can. As I continued to receive this message, I came to realize that the soul of worthiness wished to speak even more fiercely and specifically than ever before in this book. A dictionary will tell you worthiness is the quality of being good enough or deserving of respect or value. I believe this definition falls short. For me, the definition of worthiness is the understanding that one's true value is inherent and that one need not do anything or be anything to be worthy. You are born worthy. That's it. Pause. Breathe that in. When we think we've got to be good enough to deserve to feel worthy, we stay stuck. I have made it my life's work to help you unbury the worthy one who lives within you, but I'm not here to rescue you
Sample complete. Ready to continue?